Hey guys, what's going on? So we just started the new year. Everybody's got their New Year's resolutions. Everybody's got big changes planned for the new year. I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. I'm going to start going to the gym 5 days a week. I'm going to be on track. New year, new me. And that always all sounds great. It all sounds well and good. And a lot of us can keep ourselves motivated for at least a little while. But then we wind up just going back to doing the things that we've always done, being the person we always were. And the excuses start. And I think what a lot of people fail to realize is that in order to help us build these habits, build the self-discipline to make these habits, to plan these changes and keep them, keep going with them, keep them in our lives, implement them in the long term, is that we have to work on upstairs. We have to work on our mind a little bit, actually a lot. And if we develop what's inside, then we can make things happen on the outside. So that being said, I wanted to recommend four what I believe are great books and books that I think will help you to do just that, help you to develop yourself and develop your mind a little bit. All four books contain what I consider to be very sound principles that can help you develop yourself in pretty much any aspect of your life. And all four have been around for a pretty long time. One of them, as a matter of fact, has been around for over 2,000 years. Now, the language, obviously, and the references are going to sound pretty dated, but I promise you that the information in each one of them is as relevant today as it was, 50, 100, or even 2,000 years ago. So here we go, and here they are in no particular order. Number one should really not be a big surprise, and that's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That was published in 1937, probably the most famous self-help / self-development book ever written. So Hill claims that he interviewed over 500 millionaires from back in the day. And what he did was he examined these common traits, behaviors, and habits that he claims they all had. And he put together these, what he calls the 13 success principles. And I'll put them on the screen right here. So if you're trying to accomplish pretty much anything in your life, and it doesn't have to be, getting rich, accumulating money. It could be losing weight. It could be getting a job, making any type of change in your life. Pretty much if you study and follow these 13 success principles, it's going to help you manifest good things in your life. Number two is called On the Shortness of Life, and it's by a Roman Stoic philosopher from almost 2,000 years ago by the name of Lucius Annaeus Seneca. And Seneca argues that as much as people complain that, life is too short, if you really examine it and if you really look at it, we really are given enough time. It's just that most of us waste a lot of time, too much time. And I find it amazing that, 2,000 years later, the examples that he gives are pretty spot on. He talks about being addicted to booze and other vices, people being, overambitious, money-driven, power-hungry, how we waste our lives chasing after material possessions in order to keep up with the Joneses, and pretty much filling a lot of our time, which is really, at the end of the day, meaningless bullshit. And it all comes at the expense of our mental and physical health. And before you know it, you look back and you say, hey, where did all that time go? But he claims that if you try to live a more balanced life, put more time into developing yourself, balance your work and leisure time, concentrate on things that really matter in life, not always chasing those vices and chasing the money, the power and the excess material possessions, life won't seem so short. And again, this was written, about 2,000 years ago, but it's information and ideas that'll hold true forever. And I think when you read it, it's going to put a lot of things into perspective. And number three is a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, and it was published in 1926. The author's name is George Clason. He wrote this book in story form, and it's set way back in ancient Babylon. And what he does is he tells the story, and throughout the story, he conveys these financial principles. He teaches us how important it is to be frugal. And by that, we don't mean like a cheap spinster. It's just frugal in the sense that you want to be wise with your money, more strategic on, when and how you spend it. And he shows us, just how important it is to save money, to invest it the right way. Talks a little bit about, how to handle debt, I just think that there's a ton of wisdom and common sense advice here. And again, just like the others, the information in it is as relevant today as it was, 100 years ago. Number 4 is a book called 10 Basic Rules for Better Living, and that was published in 1953. The author's name is Manly P. Hall. This I thought was a really good one, a great book. It outlines rules that we should follow in life. I think there are very few people that are batting 1,000 when it comes to these rules. And this book goes over each one. And on the surface, when you read the rules, you're going to say, well, that's pretty much common sense, as soon as you read them. But you have to remember that we're people. And a lot of us either lack the common sense or we fail to use it most of the time. So again, he outlines these 10 basic rules. As an example, he says, don't accumulate in life more than you need. Don't make it a habit to blame other people for your own mistakes. Stop excessive worrying, and control your anger. And like I said, on the surface, a lot of them might seem easy or simple enough to do when you hear them, but to actually put them into practice and live them every day, that's a big challenge for all of us. So those are my top 4. All of these books, I think, should be read even more than once. And we should keep them, as a reference so we can go back to them time and again. I think the information in them is that good. I definitely think that books like these books in particular, should be made mandatory reading for young people. They contain real world advice and instructions. And like I mentioned, the information in every single one of them can be applied by every one of us every single day of our lives. These books are education. They're real education. They're not indoctrination. And they're all readily available. To be honest, I found the audio book for all 4 of them on YouTube for free. But if you're someone who likes to read the paper, to read the book itself, they're all readily available online. So that's it. Those are my 4 big ones. Let me know what you guys think. Give me some suggestions on some books that you would recommend down below that you found helpful. As always, appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you get your reps in, and I will talk to you in the next one. Thanks, guys.